Oh, yeah.
Yo, look.
Because apparently a hard trap beat fits the podcast material.
It's still a little more upbeat, at least.
Ah, yes.
I don't
Yes.
know.
How underwhelming to follow that up with us.
With us, right?
You're supposed to pick someone worse than you to open for you, Dan. That's kind of how that works.
Short of white noise, I don't know that anything wouldn't, we wouldn't be let down to anything. So, or hot dogs cooking in fucking boiling water. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not making much sense. I'm tired. I have been dealing with chronic insomnia, well, pretty much my whole life, but
Chronic, dude. Chronic.
Over the last 2 weeks, it's been really bad. I'm running on 2-3 hours of sleep a night. And one benefit to chronic insomnia, I've mentioned before that I deal with anxiety pretty bad. One thing about chronic insomnia, not sleeping, being exhausted, is that it kind of calms my anxiety. My guess is that your adrenal system can't pump out a bunch of garbage and freak you out when it's just trying to keep you from passing out. So, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little weird, a little loopy. So.
Oh yeah, what a change.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck both of you. Just not
today. I'm a little weird and a little loopy.
Yeah, I'm a little grumpy today, Adam.
Yeah, that never fucking happens.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Just today. So, as a segue, I guess. So I've been dealing with the insomnia for a while, and one of the things that I thought was, well, my diet recently has been shitty, and I'm very careful about my diet because if I'm not, there are repercussions. And I thought, man, I need to get my diet back under control. Being a single dude, living by myself, cooking is just a pain in the ass. Like the food prep for 4 days is just, it's a pain in the ass. And so I've used some of these meal prep services. I've used Freshly and Eat Fit Go and all this stuff. And then there's a new place. They came to our work and kind of pitched themselves. I think it's MyFit Foods. Is that right, Adam?
Yeah, it's like one of the like pre-made healthy meal places. You can go and get like a meal and microwave it.
Yeah,
and they've already figured all this shit out for you.
Yeah, they make everything there, and you can do gluten-free, dairy-free, carb-free, and the calories are all, they don't put any garbage in it. And
what? I usually like my food without garbage in it because when I'm biting into a cheeseburger, the last thing I want is the chewiness of a used condom.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, don't food shame.
Yeah, don't food shame,
man.
Yeah,
whatever anybody wants. Ew, you crossed a line there, buddy.
Good.
So
that just makes it a salad in the South. You put some eggs with it.
It's a salad.
If it has eggs and mayonnaise, it's automatically a salad. I'm convinced you could show up to a potluck with shit salad, and people would say, "Oh, so you put eggs and mayonnaise in it?"
She makes the best shit salad. Everybody talks about it at church. So yeah, I decided I'm going to go down and check this place out. And Adam's like, "Yeah, man, I'll go too." He said, I could stand to eat better.
It was worth it to go.
It was
not because of the food.
So we get down there, and of course the place is full of beautiful people, and they've got like nutritionists and shit there. I give them credit for what they're trying to do. I really do think that it's a group of people that are, wanting to help people eat better, and if they can turn a profit on it, fuck it, free market, man, do it. But we get down there, and they do this thing. I think it's called body motion. And it's can you hear me now, Adam?
Yeah, you're good. My connection took a shit, I think, for a second. But
okay.
It's client side, so you're good.
So anyway,
cock
balls. We get down there, and a couple of cute young girls are just like, "Hey, how you doing?" Bounce, bounce, bounce. I'm like, ugh. So, and again, I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. We're just taking our lunch break from work. and I'm exhausted. And it was one of those days. I backed my Jeep into a concrete pole. I couldn't talk. I was tripping over shit. I was just that tired. My brain was just, having a hard time keeping everything moving.
Yeah, it was.
So we're talking and yada yada, and they're asking what our goals are, and I'm like, I just want to be a fat old man.
I'm sitting there with like B cup tits. They're like, "What's your goal?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to put on some weight." Like, what?
I'm trying to get these babies up to a C.
What do you think my goals are?
I figured they have to ask. Oh, you got a legitimate snort on that one, buddy. Yeah, I figure they have to ask.
That's where you say some shit that comes out. What I really want to do is I want to fly while urinating on people as I do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
so
do you have a meal plan for that?
anyway, Doug didn't take his medication this morning.
I wish Doug had gone with us now.
I know, right? Oh, that's always a treat. I take him places just to watch people think he's mentally handicapped.
What is your goal, Doug? To have $2 billion in the bank and 7 blowjobs a day. Why?
Yeah, but y'all ain't gonna be able to do that. So where's your steak meals? So we're body motion. It's a neat system. I've used it at the gym before. It's you take your shoes and socks off, and you stand on these metal contacts, and then you hold these handles in your hand with metal contacts, and basically it shoots frequencies from one set of contacts to the other, and based on how it passes through your body and what it catches on the other end. For Doug, it'd be like a TDR, right, or an OTDR. It's neat technology. Nice. Yeah, it's neat technology. It really is. I looked it up when they did it at the gym to see, like, is this horse shit or is there something to this? And so there's a lot of science.
Is the conductivity of fat just different than muscle or something?
Fat, water, bone, yeah, everything. And then the different frequencies resonate through different parts of the body different. So, I mean, we probably both have bone cancer now from it, but
I know my body fat percentage, so
right,
that's all that matters.
I'm hanging at 23%, so I've gone way up. But we're sitting there, or we're standing there, right? And little brunettes in between us, and the blonde I was talking to is on my right, and the blonde was like chill, laid back. She just had this fuck it, buy shit, don't, whatever, which I love. Like, that's how I want to buy things, is from people who don't give a fuck. The brunette that was helping Adam was very like scripted, and you could tell she was just uncomfortable, didn't know how to deal with people, But at one point,
are your goals?
I love those.
Have you ever thought about weight training before? Because we partner with multiple gyms throughout the metro area, and you can get a discount. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Like, could you complete the sentence so I can tell you no? Fuck. And then the blonde was just chill. She's like, sup? Yeah. So we sell food. Yeah. Do you work out? I was like, I said, I not really. I said, I've got arthritis and some neck issues and stuff. I got to be real careful what I do with lifting weights and shit. And she's like, oh, well, a lot of the rubber band resistance stuff is good for that. I was like, okay, cool. And she said, I said, yeah, I do the treadmill. And she goes, oh, you go to the gym? I said, no, I bought one. And she went, sweet. I was just like, I love this chick, man. She's cool. So anyway, the brunette's in between me and Adam, and as Adam pointed out, they had like dance electronic kind of upbeat music playing, and it was,
you couldn't hear a fucking thing.
Really loud.
He was like, spoots. So do you? It's like the most awkward sales pitch I've ever heard.
Yeah, you felt like you were in a fight, like you were clubbing, And we're standing there, and at one point, she's kind of the brunette while the machines are running. She's kind of singing like to herself, and she's, hello.
And she's sitting there with her 1995 cell phone ringing.
There we go.
Her car phone starts going off.
Apparently I had an alarm set. So she's bebopping back and forth, shaking her little hiney and, kind of murmuring the lyrics to herself. And she turns to me and she says, do you dance?
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
And me being exhausted and whatnot, I was trying to be funny, and as anyone who knows me is aware, sometimes my humor falls flat. And I looked at her and I said, "Do I look like I fucking dance?" And she turns to Adam.
You want me to tell you my side of the story?
She turns to Adam and repeats herself. And he says, "Oh, my name's Adam." Because you see, she didn't ask me if I danced. She asked us what our names were.
What are your names? And Dan's like, do I look like I fucking dance, huh? Do I? And I was like, okay. And we just stared at Dan for a second, and she looked at me, and I was like, yeah, my name's Adam. So I will answer the question, I guess.
So
I have no idea where the fuck I got "do you dance" from, man. No fucking clue.
Come over here and talking to my good ear, sweetheart.
Right.
Dan,
what? Huh?
For future reference, I'm going to give you the actual answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
Only horizontally. That's what your response should be.
Only horizontally. That would have been great if I'd have thought she said that minute. Only horizontal, girl. Yeah.
She's like, that's a strange name. Anyway, what's your name?
Yes, only horizontally.
What is your name? Do I look like I fucking dance? How fat's your dad?
It was so funny, dude. I was losing it. I was like, I thought the other girl had asked him something and I just didn't hear.
No, I just completely fucking misheard the girl. And then once Adam said, "Oh, I'm Adam," I was like, "Oh, fuck me." Like it clicked, and I just put my head down and was like, "Hurry up, machine! Hurry up! I am embarrassed." So, and I don't think the brunette so much as even fucking made eye contact with me after that. Like, she must have thought that I was completely out of my fucking mind.
Just rolling, dude. She thought you were just rolling.
Right, Molly.
Walking into a store, looks good, some good food, dude.
Drop some Molly and look at prefab food.
We'll get on this fucking machine, dude. Let's go.
Well, she probably thinks she ran into fucking Christopher Walken. Frankenstein never scared me.
As opposed to Adam Driver. Yeah. Jokes don't get any better, folks. Neither does the podcast. Stop now while you're ahead. So yeah, that was that had Adam amused for quite a while. And so now whenever one of us says something and the other one doesn't hear it, we reply with, "Do I look like I fucking dance?" So I was like, "Hey Adam, do you have the thing and the stuff?" And he didn't hear me, so he just turns to me without skipping a beat. "Hey, do I look like a fucking dance? Huh?" I'm like, "All right."
This is going to be it from now on.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, so from now on, if you don't hear someone, instead of saying, "Excuse me," or "I'm sorry, what?" or "I didn't hear you," you look at them and, as aggravated as possible, you ask them, "Hey, do I look like I fucking dance?"
Huh?
So,
fucking bitch, do I look like I dance? And then flip over the nearest piece of furniture.
And just like throw it. Yeah.
And be like, "Sorry, I didn't hear you."
Yeah. Just be like, "This is a social norm for me now. This is what I do. This is how I handle things that I don't understand with anger and confusion." So yeah, and I'm still running on very little sleep, but I'm getting used to it. I'm kind of enjoying it, and I figure my body will break down when it needs to. So yeah. Anyone else have any slightly embarrassing stories they want to tell?
Nope.
No, not really.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week, and good to go. All right. That's all. It's just 15 minutes of Dan embarrassing himself, and then we're moving on to something else.
Yeah, we could just shut it down right here and name the episode "Get Her Done." We did it in 15 minutes.
Right? Why waste your time, folks?
Get Her Done, the 15-minute special.
The 15-minute Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, that's about all I got.
I did not play modded Legoland or some shit like that last night, by the way.
You didn't speed run SpongeBob?
No, I didn't do any of that.
Bottom.
I went to bed.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, there, tuberculosis.
We killed the wrong dog.
We killed the wrong Doug died.
Yeah, I went to bed at a reasonable time so I could get up and be ready for the podcast instead of playing some modded Legoland game or some
Or
shit
some
like
shit
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Doug. Or some
Yeah.
shit like that. So
Or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for the rest of you out there, you can throw and some shit like that on the back of anything.
So both of you. So for Adam's mom and probably his girlfriend, you can put that on there. And yeah,
Yeah, it adds some pizzazz.
it adds some pizzazz.
You're dugging up your sentence.
A Dougism. You got to put a little Dougism on there.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
mean,
like
it could
Old
be
Bay.
interesting.
You just put it on everything.
Yeah.
Six quats of oil.
Dude's like, hey, I'm going to go get some tacos. You want some? Or you like bring me like I'm going to Taco Bell. What do you want? Bring me some tacos or some shit like that.
More some shit like that.
It's a terrible order.
I'm just saying. We just talked about garbage in your food, but you eat shit apparently. That's
Or some shit like that.
pot calling the kettle fucking green or some shit. I don't know.
Good
Cock.
one, dude. Good one.
Right. Balls.
I can't believe you're sleep deprived.
I know. That's the problem. Is my wit that I am known for, I suppose, for better or for worse. It goes in the toilet when I'm sleepy like this. People say shit, and I look at them, and there's like this little lima bean chunk in my brain. It's like say something smart ass, say something smart ass, and the rest of my brain's going funny.
The rest of your brain looks like Patrick Star.
Yeah, exactly. I get nothing done when I'm like this. So, like I said, it'll pass eventually. Good old fashioned exhaustion. I thought about buying a 28-foot ladder and just running it through the woods, for 12 hours a day like I used to. Well, I used to sleep pretty well back then, but I think sitting at a keyboard, it's hard to physically wear yourself out. And I think a lot of people, have that problem where your brain, you work at a computer all day and you're crunching numbers in your brain, you're doing stuff and your brain's ready to sleep and your body's not. And then you get the opposite of that where your body's exhausted and your brain's like, wee!
Remember that time
Yeah,
in like
right.
third grade when you said the thing and the whole class thought you were a dumbass and they probably still think about it all the time? Huh? Do you? You remember that?
Let's think
Huh?
about that. Let's just stare at that for the next 4 hours, okay?
Yeah,
this
let's
is
consider who probably still thinks you're dumb.
that would be a giant like papyrus roll that would just keep going of all the people that think I'm dumb. It's funny. I was when I took the Jeep out and went up to a lake that's kind of hard to get to.
Oh, do you have a Jeep?
I do have a Jeep. Yeah, I ride too. Do you know I ride? Did I tell you I ride?
I didn't know that.
Fuck, I haven't ridden much this year at all. It's too goddamn hot.
He's only missing the pit bull.
There are these two young girls, and
The Rebel Gen Xer starter pack.
they're hiking, and these girls hike a lot, if you know what I mean.
Do I look like I fucking dance?
And they did. Woof. And I just stopped and talked to them, and they're like giggling at me because I'm being stupid. And I realized, I got up top of the hill and was sitting there, and I realized that I would have never done that in my 20s or hell, probably 30s, right? I didn't talk to women, period. I was petrified of them. And I realized that there is truth in that when you get older, you just stop giving a fuck, and you really do. Because you're not going to please everybody. And two, I think you just start amusing yourself a little more when you get older. Like, even when nobody else thinks you're funny, you think you're fucking funny.
I'm already there then.
There you go. As long as you think you're funny, fuck what everybody else thinks. That's our moral takeaway from this episode is as long as you crack yourself up, that's all that fucking matters.
I crack myself up every hour at least.
every hour. And I'll have you know, Doug, it's not a starter pack. It is the it's the midlife crisis um, starter pack, right?
No, you haven't gotten the fucking convertible yet.
No, I haven't gotten the convertible. I got a lifted Jeep. I got a Harley. I forgot about the convertible.
You need to get the convertible that you can't afford.
It's
Well,
That's how you know you're having the midlife crisis.
or a Corvette. I do like the new Corvettes, though. They're good.
well,
See?
I mean,
See?
the only thing to your credit is that your tattoo is not a tribal tattoo. That's
Wait
the
for it.
only thing that you have that's in the plus column.
You gotta have the barbed wire band around your arm.
I am so glad that I was broke in the 90s. I really am, because I liked tribal. The barbed wire, I don't remember too much, but I really did like tribal. And now I see it, and it just didn't age well. And I don't know. I don't know if
Bad
like
decision, party of one.
and some people pull it off. Like there are some that pull it off, right? We work with a guy that's got tribal up both arms, up the back of his neck, and like he pulls it off. And I think
it suits him because he looks like he could go tribal on your ass. I know exactly who you're talking about. So that's in a different category.
It really is, and it's. I think that you got to go big or go home.
Well, for
tribal.
anybody else besides him, unless you walk around like that MMA level badass, if you're sitting behind the counter and you're sitting there in your short sleeve button up shirt and you're
behind the counter. I like that you put it behind a counter there, Doug.
I mean, if what you're looking at, other than the tattoos, tells you I have a level 42 wizard in World of Warcraft, and it's sitting there with the tribal tattoos, it just doesn't go.
Yeah, like I said,
that makes a lot of sense.
I'm very glad that I was broke in the 90s, so I couldn't afford to get any that I'd regret later. I love my ink. I still get a lot of compliments on it 10 years later. People, there was a Family Guy episode where, oh, he said the thing, and they talk like when they say the title of movies in movies, and it always pops in my head when I'll say the phrase "you reap what you sow." People will hold their arm out and they're like, "Because you got the tattoo." I'm like, yeah, I got it.
No, it's not a catchphrase. It's a real thing. Like, I'm not the "you reap what you sow" man. Like,
right.
It's a thing beyond me.
Right. Yeah. This was here long before I was. There is some back and forth on where it came from, but most people attribute it to the Bible, right? And I've gotten that too when people find out I'm atheist, and they're like, "But you've got scripture on your left arm." I'm like, well, again, there's some back and forth on where they think it actually came from, but.
Well, when you say, "Where did this come from?" and someone says something that's not the Bible, and then you kill them, everyone starts saying it came from the Bible.
Came from the Bible. Nope, totally the Bible. Totally the Bible.
I'm pretty sure it's the Bible.
Sky's blue, water's wet, Bible. I just because I'm not a religious person, I don't believe in God or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's not any good life lessons in the Bible. I mean, fuck, a broken clock's right twice a day. But I do believe that it was a level of accountability that I hit in my 30s when I kind of realized that regardless of what anybody else does, I'm responsible for all the good and bad things that have happened in my life. Even people would say, "Well, this person screwed you over." Yeah, but I let them. I didn't see the signs. I told the story about a guy I thought was a good friend of mine was fucking my first wife, living with me. I was feeding this dude and giving him money, and
what did he do to screw you over?
Looking back, he did me a giant fucking favor. But at the time, yeah, he
But
was
what did he do?
he was fucking my wife at the time.
Yeah, how'd
So
he screw you over?
yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this, aren't we? In a big old
What does
fucking
mine
circle.
say?
And then
And then.
that's a terrible movie, but it
I
does have
love
some
it.
funny parts. You would. You
Well,
would.
someone told me that it was originally slated to be a Beavis and Butthead live action movie, and then it made a lot more sense.
Weird.
Yeah.
Really.
hmm
And then some point they pulled it and
They were like,
did
we couldn't fucking pay the $2,000 to license Beavis and Butthead, so you guys are just gonna have to stand alone on this one.
$2,000.
$200, and you can have this. And they were like, no.
Yeah, you bested my balls. You bested my balls. Speaking of which, did you see that Parker and Stone are they want to buy Casa Bonita?
Bonita. Yeah.
Oh no!
I think that's a brilliant fucking idea.
Isn't it going out of business? So they
No,
could buy it?
it's went bankrupt during the pandemic, or it's sort of as soon as the pandemic was lifting around here in the Colorado area, and they started opening things back up. That was about the time that the parent company of Casa Bonita ran out of money, so Parker and Stone are thinking about buying it.
But then I was reading that Bonita, they're saying that they've restructured and they plan on opening by September anyway. So I don't know if
bankruptcy is not the end. Like they could,
especially
still come
not for
back.
companies. Yeah, companies weasel their way through so much bullshit. And
well, I mean, bankruptcy is it's either it depends on what you're filing, but I think the most used ones are 7 and 13.
yeah,
And one of those is just to rearrange your debt, and the other one is we're selling off all your shit to pay off your creditors, and we figure out who gets paid and how much.
yeah.
And they just have to accept however much you give them as long as you prove you sold all your shit, right?
Pretty
I think
much.
so. Yeah,
And
That's
it's
hilarious.
not you selling all your shit; it's the court selling all your shit.
yeah.
Right. That's funny. He owed us $2 million. Well, he only had 2,000 worth of stuff. So.
Right, and that's basically
Sucks
how
to
that
be
works.
you.
Yeah, sucks to be you. And that's how a lot of debt. They talk about forgiving student loan debt, and everybody wants them to do that. And it's like, well, but here's the thing, right? Is that schools, regardless of if they're fucking people over, or not schools, but like the loan companies and schools and all that. Regardless of if they are fucking people over, they have spent money based on what they expect to receive from these loan payments and stuff.
It's a loan. Yeah, I mean the money's spent and you owe it back.
Right. Somebody is responsible for this money. So
Yeah.
when
Right.
they say they wanted Trump and Biden and all these people to sign these things and just get rid of student loan debt. Well, the problem is that somebody's got to pay it. And if the feds are the ones that start, scrolling that pen across the paper, a lot of times they're the ones that pay it back. Well, they don't have any money. Their money is our money. So when you start saying, we're gonna get rid of all this student loan debt, that it's going to come out of our taxes. And
well, there's some of those companies that I think they should be filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and because they're, well, not all of them. And I know I'm sort of getting off to a really shitty start here because, my segues are not known to be smooth, but there were a lot of predatory loan type deals that were set up, especially with for-profit colleges, because you had for-profit colleges that were charging Ivy League rates to teach somebody a fucking Excel class and whatnot, and you turn around and you certify them in IT, and they spent $25,000 a year going to college for 2 years to get a degree that's questionable at best.
Yeah.
And then the loan company that the for-profit college hooked them up with is charging some ridiculous shit, 12, 13, 15% rate. And when it comes to eliminating stuff like that, I'm on board.
But see, I got to disagree, because I guess my answer to that would be fucking wah. I mean, you made the choice to sign the paper. You made the choice. You looked at that. You looked at that percentage. You looked at what they were charging. You looked at
No,
the
you're.
college, and you signed
I'm
it anyway.
sure I'm gonna jump right back here. So I'm sure that they, when they were putting the contract for the loan in front of them, said, we're fucking you, right? You see how much interest you're paying here, and this is how it's going to amortize. No, they put this kind of shit in front of people. Oh yeah, here everything will be fine, and blah blah blah, and here's all the good points about it, and here
That's
sign on the
everything that
dotted
people
line.
sell. That's everything that people sell. So we're supposed to basically, my taxes, I'm supposed to pay because some jackass decided not to pay attention to what he was doing. Right? I mean,
Allow me to retort. So what you're saying is every time that you've gotten a piece of software and it says, "Do you accept these terms and conditions?" And all you were signing up for was whatever baloney service you wanted to monitor something, yada yada yada. And it said, and in that contract, it said, after you've used this service for 100 hours, you now owe us $1 a minute. And then you sat there, you use the service, and you get this bill out of the fucking blue for $179. You telling me you're not going to be angry?
I
You're
never said I
not
wouldn't
going
be angry. I never said I
to.
wouldn't be angry, but I would not expect anybody else to pay that for me. I would not expect anybody else to go in and fuck that company or to fuck anybody else except for me. Hell, I've done that with recurring subscriptions that I'd forgotten about. I got hit by, I don't remember who it was. It was like $350. I think it was Udemy, or not Udemy, Pluralsight, one of those.
Yeah.
And it just hit me out of nowhere, right? Because when I signed up, it apparently said, hey, we're going to renew you every year unless you uncheck this box. And me being the unobservant dickhead that I am, I didn't check that box. So guess what? It cost me $300. Lesson learned. That's all I'm saying. Now, moving forward, do I think that there should be some like they've done this with certain industries where they say, hey, you need to make this shit a little more credit cards, as a matter of fact. When you
Home
get a
loans.
statement from your credit cards now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a big section on the paper now, or on the PDF, where it shows you what your interest rate is, what you've
Right.
paid in interest. And so moving forward, yes, I do believe that some things need to be to stop that kind of predatory bullshit. But at the same time, I have a hard time. Again, I believe that we need to go in the right direction with it, but I refuse to feel bad for people that don't pay attention and read, because there are people that think I'm a jackass and an idiot for not paying attention to certain. When I bought my, I had a Hyundai Tiburon,
Right.
right, a 2005 Hyundai Tiburon. I paid 12.4% interest on that car. 12%, Doug. Right?
I know that, but that's.
I was the jackass there. I mean, they, of course they were salivating as I signed it.
Oh yeah.
But I fucked my credit when I was 18 years old, signing up with a Scandinavian. It was a gym. I don't even think they're around anymore. And what I didn't realize is that it was a 3-year membership. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. The loan that I basically took out to pay for that 3-year membership was for the entire fucking 3 years. Okay. So it was a fairly sizable chunk of money. I was 18, making minimum wage. And within months, I was way out of my fucking league. So I fucked my credit up right when I was 18, right? And at 18, of course, I blamed everybody but myself. Well, it's their fault because they fucked me and all that. And that's where, we roll back to you reap what you sow. I realized in my 30s that, yeah, of course they fucked me. But you know what? I let myself get fucked. I didn't read anything. I didn't pay attention. I didn't ask any questions, right? I mean, when you go into a store or you go to do something, hell, I've brought paperwork to you to read because you are better at paying attention to the details than I am with that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And
I just think that
I promise you've done that because you've gotten fucked at some point.
uh, through one way or another, but I just think they're just like with food. You know, people went to war over we want to see what's in our food. So
Absolutely
now when
right.
you go buy a can of fucking pork and beans, it has a list of ingredients on the
Right.
side.
And
I believe if things like that are going to continue, that they turn around and just like it is when you do a home loan, because I know you've done one of those before, to where they set out the contract in front of you and they say, this is how much you're paying in total. This is how much interest you're paying, the whole 9 yards. I believe if you're going to enter into a financial contract that's worth more than a couple of grand, I think that should be a requirement, especially when it comes to like school loans and the whole 9 yards.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, with an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, I would agree with that because we know where where people tend to fall short in paying attention, right? Especially when the contract is the size of you brought up the house loans, and I just remembered going in to do my first closing, and they kept pulling out paper. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, you feel like you're going to have writer's cramps just from signing shit.
Yeah. At the end of it, it looks like a fucking Yellow Pages. For those of you old enough to know what a Yellow Pages is, and it's impossible to read, just like the EULA on any piece of software, like you said, right? Nobody reads them. You just click OK and you go. There should be some limitations on what you can hide in there. Like, okay, why would you not tell them that, right, like you said, that the subscription would cost them money after this certain period of time? That needs to be bold print somewhere. Let's get the important shit out there in front of people and let them see what we really need to know. What is my interest rate? What am I going to pay? When I did the loan for my Jeep, I got Bank of America. And one of the things I liked, and maybe this may be a federal mandate too, I don't know, but it said, this is what you're going to pay at this interest rate with these payments over the period of your loan. This is how much you're going to pay just in interest. And I looked at that and I was like, okay, now to me, because of my interest rate being so low, I was okay with that number, right? It's okay. They're charging me this so that I can buy a vehicle now without having this cash money. I'm okay with that, right? But I remember with the Tiburon, right? I had no fucking idea how much when I got the title, I think it's got the price, and I think it's just the price of the vehicle, and versus like what I actually paid. I forget exactly how I figured out how much more I had paid on that car versus, it was like a $19,000 car.
All you had to do was sit down with a fucking calculator and go, okay, so I paid $432.85 a month for 5 years, and I paid blah, blah, blah.
Oh, look at me. I know how to use a fucking calculator. Blah. Well, I wasn't thinking of those things, Doug.
You think you better than me because you know how to do fucking fancy math and adding on your little fancy add machine? Huh?
Do I look like I fucking dance, boy?
Do
Well, I didn't pay attention to those things back then, Doug. I just did shit. And I paid the car off and had it for 15 years. I got my money out of it, even with that ridiculous fucking loan. I got my money out of it, in my opinion, which is kind of all that matters in that case. But it made me hate interest. Like, I am such a fucking interest hater now.
So you're not interested?
I walked into that one.
You're not interested in it?
I got to give you credit for that one, Adam. I do.
Like a fucking spider web.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God, an Adam joke. Oh, God. Oh, I got it in my mouth. Oh, God.
It got all over you. Mm. Some of it was in your ears.
Yeah, it's all of that has made me hate interest. And I think it was, fuck is his name? Dave Ramsey, who is a fucking psychotic nut job.
Yeah,
But
he's always screaming in the kitchen, talking about you better get this dish
no,
ready
no,
faster
no,
because
no,
because the customer
mm-mm,
out front is
mm-mm,
getting angry because they've been
no,
waiting for 2
The
hours for
center
their
is
no,
food.
fucking cold.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I love that show. I love
no,
that show.
no, no, no.
About people cooking in the hell or something.
Yeah,
It's
it's in. I think it takes place in New York. Hell's Kitchen,
I hate both of
New
you.
York.
Um, he goes on to talk about how when you go open a savings account, you get like 0.6% interest on your on your savings. But then when you go to the bank and you say, "Hey, I want a loan," they're like, "Absolutely, that'll be 22% interest." It's like, how is your fucking money worth more than my fucking money? You know, um, and that made me think about it too, because he's right. Credit card percentages, even good ones, are still what, 12, 14, 15%, and that's considered uh, a good credit card interest.
Well,
Like, wow,
that's
this is only
why
12%.
they like to rope in young people, because the real explanation for 90% of the dumb shit that you did during your entire life was, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Absolutely. And
Or
at the
pussy.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
trust me, I've done lots of dumb shit for pussy that seemed like a good idea at the
At the
time.
time, yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna marry those two together, because he's
Yeah,
right.
kind of the same thing. Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
that's why they talk about post nut clarity, right? And for those of you that don't know,
Dan's always
uh,
talking about they. Who's they?
the two people that listen,
They talk about. I don't think my mom
they
talks about post nut clarity.
I think she does. I
I
think
don't
she
think
does.
so.
Yeah, I'm,
I've never heard her say
yeah.
that.
I guarantee she thought about fucking post pregnancy clarity and thought, I'm never doing this again.
Right after me, she made sure that she could no longer have, and she made it clear that if I had been born first, my brother wouldn't be here.
So what you're saying is you broke your mom.
Yeah, you broke your
Yeah,
mom.
I
Good job,
was
buddy.
so uncontrollable.
That
I could believe that.
I
She
have a
would tell
hard time
me,
believing that,
she
actually.
would say, "Don't do this thing," and I'd be like, "I wasn't even gonna, but now, god damn it, now I'm gonna do it."
Okay, that I can believe, because I've seen it. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Yeah, I could see you as
I
like,
could
hey,
just
don't touch that
imagine.
stove. It's hot. Well, it wasn't gonna, but now,
Fuck you! I'm gonna touch it just to fucking.
yeah.
And I got third-degree burns on the side of my hand, a big blister on my hand.
And that's how I wound up with these scars.
It actually
So,
didn't scar. By definition, it's supposed to, but it didn't. I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but
by
yeah,
definition.
yeah. Like a third-degree burn, the definition is that it leaves a scar because it gets all the way through the epidermis or whatever. But
Gotcha.
it looked
So
nasty.
you really did touch a hot stove.
No, I fell in a campfire.
Oh.
I was trying to put a bunch of lighter fluid on it because I'm an idiot, and I was
Yeah.
like, I ran up to it and tried to spray it, and
Yeah.
I just fell in.
Dude, I'm 46 years old and I still throw accelerants on like campfires and shit. So I
Whoosh.
mean, yeah, right. I don't out here. I will say that I think I've only been around one campfire in Colorado, and you watch them like a fucking hawk. I mean, because fucking mountains go up out here all the time. From
You said you
people being
watch him like a
dumbasses.
cock.
I watch them like a cock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, when there's a cock floating around, I make sure that thing doesn't get too close to me. All right. Just saying.
Did I ever tell y'all about the time I almost
God.
burnt my house down?
No.
We were talking about cocks, and he's like, have I ever told y'all about the time? I'm like, oh, Jesus. No,
Well-
Doug, please enlighten us.
Do I look like I fucking dance? No, I'm sorry.
Do I look like I dance?
No, it was around the 4th of July, and me and one of my friends since first grade, we had shot up all the good fireworks, and we were down to the fucking Black Cat firecrackers. And it came with some of those little weird looking incense igniters that you're supposed to light shit with. Well, Yeah, I agree. And that's how
I already knew what he was going to
people
say.
derail shit.
Yeah, we use I am in the background, and sometimes we do it on purpose. You should see some of the gifs that I'm looking at from Doug. He's on a bit of a bender with his balls today. So
A testicular bender.
a testicular, yeah, he has a testicular aptitude. So, but please go on about burning your house down there,
Oh well,
Scroat
So you
McGoat.
had the black cat firecrackers, and
yeah,
that was all that was left.
Yeah.
yeah, and we used the elastic niter that we had sitting there lighting those fucking things off. So then we got the bright idea that we would start a fire and then we would light the black cats in our hand from the fire and then throw them because that seemed like a good idea at the time. So we were looking around for something to burn, and I was like, well, we've got this wood here, but they'd probably get pissed if I burned up their 2x4s and 2x8s and stuff like that. I was like, but we do have gasoline. So, about 3 feet from the house, I pour out about a half a gallon of gasoline on the ground. So,
3 feet should be enough. I agree. This is a good
three,
idea.
3 feet should be enough. So, I light the gasoline with a match because we didn't even have a lighter, or we would have lit the fireworks with that. And as soon as that shit caught on fire and I saw the flames leap up about 6 feet initially, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to burn the fucking house down. And in my little, I think I was probably 7 or 8 at the time, my little 7 or 8 year old mind, the first thing that occurred to me was to try to stomp out the gasoline fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump on top of the gasoline fire and then start stomping. And then I realize, oh shit, now I have gasoline on the bottom of my feet. So my shoes caught on fire. So I started running really fast because that was the only thing that occurred to me to get the fire out on my feet. So I look like I'm running fucking 500 miles an hour down the road with my feet on fire. So yeah.
You went full Ghost Rider on him then.
Yeah. Because it seemed like a good idea at the time.
But was there pussy involved?
No, it didn't get my dick sucked.
No, it didn't get your dick
Okay,
sucked. So
well-
therefore, it really had no value, right? So, well, if it makes you feel any better, buddy, when I was about, I think, 10 years old, I burned down a chicken coop. And I don't know if my family knows that was me or not. We were, me and a buddy of mine, we had this chicken coop on my parents bought a house. It used to be a farm, and over the years it got incorporated. And so the farm kind of just dwindled down to nothing. But there was the house, a barn, and then the chicken coop. And it was the type where in the middle it kind of steepled up, and then the coops were actually to the left and the right. Well, me and a buddy of mine used to go in and play in the center part of it, because you could go in and then you went upstairs and there was this loft, and it was cool, man. Hell, like I said, I'm an adult and I'd still think it was cool. So we were playing and I decided we were going to make some torches so that we could see in there better. So we got some beer bottles of my dad's. I poured gasoline in them and I stuck a cloth down in it. I lit it.
That's not a torch.
Well, when you're 10 years old, it's a torch, Adam. All right.
That's a Molotov cocktail.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but it seemed like a good idea at the time.
At the time, yeah. And so it's burning, and I'm lucky. We're fortunate that the fucking thing, didn't explode and spit gas everywhere. But I heard my mom calling, and I panicked, and I patted it out, and then I took this old wooden planter. Now, mind you, this planter was probably 60, 70 years old. I mean, it was the driest, most brittle gray wood you've ever seen in your life.
Perfect.
And I pat the cloth out, and then I put that over top of it, right? And she was hollering because we were going somewhere. So my buddy leaves, and we go over to our friend's house. And somebody comes to my mom's friend's door and says, tells my mom, hey, there's a fire over by your house. I think it might be, so oh shit. So we run back and we get there, and the whole center of the chicken house is gone. Right. And People said they heard shit exploding because there was like paint and different chemicals in the bottom of it. So I think we lost a couple kittens because of it. So I think I murdered a couple of kittens. Yeah, I took that one to my fucking. I was going to take that one to my grave as far as my parents were concerned. Was I didn't mention a fucking thing. Now I still didn't quite understand what happened. Right, I was a kid. Now as I've gotten older, for those of you who don't know, gasoline especially is really really good at reigniting itself. Um, when you put gasoline out, it needs to fucking be out because heat, the fumes, it's one of these accelerants that will reignite for no reason. Well, there's a reason, but you know what I mean. So basically, I figure what happened is I put that over it. It sat in there and smoldered, and then reignited itself. You had gasoline, old wood, cloth. Anyone who's ever played a zombie crafting game knows where this is going. And that fucking place went up, man. So I carried that as a 10-year-old. I carried that for quite a while. I was basically an accidental arsonist. But yeah, so yeah, I burned down a chicken coop when I was 10 years old. Now everybody knows. I mean, I don't really give a fuck, but everybody knows now. So
I knew
Everybody,
it. I
all
knew that
four
was
of them.
you.
right, you can call me Colonel Sanders because I'm out here frying fucking chickens. Wasn't a single fucking chicken in that thing, dude.
Not by the end of it.
Popcorn chicken. Yeah, there was no chickens, but there was a cat and had a couple kittens in there, and we only found like 3 of the 5. So I don't know if she just didn't get them all or what happened to them, but
Yeah, it probably just ran away.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure they're fine. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
hell for that. I'm totally going to hell for that. So yeah, I don't think I've ever told that story before. So why not record it and put it on other people's servers for posterity?
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when I don't sleep.
Damn the arson.
Dan the arsonist. Yeah, it's cool. Cool stuff. I've done some stupid shit. I set a pond on fire once with gas. We were camping and I picked up a gas can, and instead of putting it in another small container and like throwing it on the fire, I just threw it, like dumped it from the gas can. So of course it climbed the fucking stream, got into the gas can. The gas can went boom, and got warm, and I was like, ah! So I threw it, and when I threw it, it like spiraled and just threw gas like a flamethrower out into the pond, and so the pond was just on fire.
Perfect. Fuck them fish.
I've done so many stupid things with fire and gasoline, so now I'm very, very, very careful. When I'm around fire, I don't use accelerants. I keep fire extinguishers. You guys have both been to my apartment. Whenever I run the grill, I take a fucking fire extinguisher out with me. When I go camping, I take a fire extinguisher with me. But yeah, I ain't fucking up nothing else. I've
I could see.
I've used up my guardian angel's fucking time and energy at this point. So just ain't got nothing. She ain't got nothing left, man. She's like, fuck this dude.
I could just see you walking around with a gas can saying shit like, "You got any kittens?"
Oh, no.
Y'all got any of them kittens? Oh, that's terrible. You're a horrible person. Not as
Oh, I
horrible as
know.
I am because I probably killed kittens.
Yeah,
as a
it's
kid.
like-
but
I've done a lot of things, but I hadn't murdered any fucking kittens.
right, never murdered a kitten. So yeah, thought about that for a long time. It's been fucking 36 years, so I'm kind of over it. But it's just talking about being dumb, being young and dumb. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I see people that have, like you said, did shit when they were young, and it followed them into the rest of their lives. So you hope that if you can do anything, you can, let younger people know that the shit you do will stick with you, man. Some of it's silly and it's dumb stories to tell on a podcast 30 years later, but some of it can be a lot more serious. So
Yeah, there may not be such thing as the permanent record, but by God, it exists in your head. I can tell you that right now.
This is going on your permanent record.
yeah, no shit.
And they all acted like, you had the fucking thing tattooed to your forehead. And anytime you met someone, they were like, okay, let me check you out first. No.
Right. Yeah, it's. I think about all the dumb shit all the dumb shit I did as a kid, and sometimes wonder how the fuck uh, I managed to not wind up dead in jail on fire. Whatever the case may
They
be.
usually don't take dead people to jail.
Well, you'd be
It'd be weird.
surprised. Just saying, you'd be
He's
surprised.
dead. Yeah, but he did some fucked up shit.
Just
We gotta
right.
bring him in.
Take the body, put it in a cell. Let's just trust us. Just
He
trust
might.
us on this.
We gotta question him. He might still know some things.
some shit like that. As a matter of fact, he might know some things or some shit like that.
Or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
We asked him right before he died, and then he said it seemed like a good idea at the time.
So there was this chick, and that's all we needed to know. That's all I got, fellas.
Are we
Fucking
done?
call it.
I don't know. You tell me, Adam. Are we done?